Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to a 6-box episode of NFT Live. Yeah, we're coming to you hot here. Going to cover the NFT space in just around an hour. Hopefully you guys have your seatbelt buckled, hands in. Full episode here coming at you. I don't even know where to start. First of all, apes are back. That's where I'll start. Marty McFly was not invited to this show.
He's not showing up, is he?
I made sure not to. I made sure to tell him that he's not invited. No, I'm just kidding, Marty. You are the guest of honor, actually, sir. But we are going to talk a lot of things. We've got KozmikBumz here that we're going to highlight. They've got a mint over on Solana here that's upcoming. So I definitely want to give awesome and dope creators their room on this show and to be able to highlight them.
Well, we do.
So let's get after it, man. And there's some tie-in with DP, our very own. DP, let's start with you, man. GM, sir.
Hey man, GM people. So I'm happy to be able to share the KozmikBumz team with you all, which I'm a part of. I've been kind of keeping it on the low a little bit, I know. But I just wanted to make sure everything was right for you all. I wanted to bring it to you all at the right time. And things have been going pretty good for us. We've been making some good headway and some good progress. So I'm happy to present the team to you all. I have my guy LSD here, and the founder Gil, the other co-founder Gil, should be hopping in pretty soon. But other than that, man, GM to the people. I'm happy to see you all. I want to see Marty pop up so he can do his flooding.
Oh, he's there.
There he is. But yeah. But other than that, man, let's have a good show.
All right, let's do it. Ellis, we're going to do a proper intro for KozmikBumz and all the things that you have been doing there on your side. But just in general, as a human being, GM to you, and what's going on?
GM, thanks for having us. It's good to be here. It's all happening, man. Like you gotta have nerves of steel to be building over the last 12 months. And so we are the definition of perseverance, and excited to be kind of reaching the peak where we can start, showing the fruits of our labor. So excited to be here. Thank you guys for supporting creators. Appreciate you guys.
Love it, dude. All right, we're going to do a deep dive here in just a moment. Before that, I've got my other awesome co-hosts up here, Huda and Biggie Poppins. Huda, GM to you. I saw you posting about dogs, sir. Is this dog day for you?
Dude, it is a dog kind of day for sure. Man, it's everybody's been rooting for one rune. One, it doesn't matter which one, but for one of them to excel, for one of them to show people what's possible. And Dog is doing it in it's just over 24 hours at this point. Already hit a record high $400 million market cap. It's cooking. These exchanges are coming. There's a lot cooking there. Again, everybody's cheering them on because it's good for that whole Rune ecosystem, and it's good for the whole Ordinals ecosystem. It's exciting, man. Good stuff happening on Bitcoin. Just as cool, too, though, man. We had that epic sat that was grabbed by, I can't remember who it was that got that block, the halving block. But that epic sat from that block, only 32 epic sats in existence, sold today for $2 million.
Hold on, I got the post. Let me link you all.
Dude.
Let me link you all. I just saw it.
That is
only
insane.
be 32 ever. Now picture this. Picture taking an incredible piece of art that deserves that kind of sat and inscribing something to it, right? It's just kind of cool what you can do with special sats. I love it.
The other part of this combo, we are going to have the Ordinals and Runes, deep dive. And DP, I appreciate you dropping that there in the chat. We did see some ETH sales. First of all, BAYC again continues its run. It went past 15. But Huda, we had a large sale on the CryptoPunk side, man. Like, I don't even what was that? 20 million?
I think it's 12.
12?
Yeah. So lower than the last couple aliens, but we've had 3 alien sales now over 12 mil in the past, 2 months or so here. It's beautiful. Stuff starting to pick up on the ETH side, some big art sales too. A lot going on, and a lot of good indicators here that maybe NFTs, it's their time to, things are swinging in their favor. Maybe.
All right,
cautiously
I love it.
Optimistic.
I'm going to go to Biggie Poppins here before I get to GIF. Biggie, you were my partner in crime there on Say What this morning.
Morning we've had, huh? But this is awesome, man. I love to wrap it up today with talking to builders, talking to my homies on positive things. I can add a little bit of positivity there too. I was very lucky yesterday to get to have a Zoom call with some of the Yuga team and the Proof ecosystem. I can't divulge much because I had to sign an NDA, sir. You know how that goes. But and I'm not gonna overhype it either. But all I can say is it's not like fucking Yuga's been sitting on their hands doing absolutely fucking nothing. So I'm not surprised that somebody's been taking action recently. But hey, I don't know, man. This is good for the space. I'm excited.
All right, we are absolutely testing the limits of Restream here. We'll see how we do. We're getting quickly to the Brady Bunch level here. Who wants to be in the middle? Ellis, do you want to be in the middle? You like it? Okay. All right.
I like the middle.
Okay. All right.
I am the creamy filling.
I just hope that with the opportunity here, we try touching tips at the end.
Yes, DP will have to be off screen, but we can do that.
That's right up. It's funny you said that because that's right up Ellis's alley.
Hell yeah.
Watch your mouth, DP. Watch your mouth.
All right, here we go. So we did have a pretty spicy say what in versus in the chat saying, damn, did I miss a spicy one? Yes, you in fact did. It looks like Palette has some issues going on. Had to cover it this morning. It's unfortunate. But yeah, huge news coming out of that ecosystem. We'll have a follow-up tomorrow. We do those spaces at 11 a.m., by the way, so Eastern. So definitely follow myself, Biggie Poppins, or Gifted, and you will be alerted when we go live. All right, Gif. What's up, sir?
Yeah, just what we need. Another exchange on Say, maybe just fucking packing it up and disappearing. Yeah. Look, we also had a great GM Web 3. Shout out Trish, who came on and gave us some Warpcast Alpha. We're digging in over there as another big opportunity. I did love how Huda started bringing up the interesting things developing on Bitcoin, and Q couldn't just let it go. He's like, but also ETH. He was like, but also Bored Apes, right? He's like, no, it's true. It's good.
So we're touching
this
on both.
fucking wizard always comes on the show and says like ETH NFTs are dead.
There's exciting things happening everywhere.
It's been a calendar year, Gifted, and I get a couple days that I do that, and you're like, well, you can't talk about them.
Celebrate. Yeah.
What did Marty slip you, sir?
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Hey, any takeaways? I know you covered Farcaster on GM Web 3 this morning. Any takeaways there?
So yeah, I guess like high level, a lot of people are familiar that like the tipping has been a very interesting feature, that frames have been an interesting feature, the ability to deploy like mini dApps, mini applications directly within the feed. But now there's a new thing called actions that I just learned about. So I was able to actually like install my first action, which is a bot or not, which is really cool. So it's basically like, again, directly within your feed underneath a cast, you can install these like mini bots or dApps that take different actions on that cast. Bot or not is an example of an early action that lets you basically like it just gives you a quick AI reading on like the quality of the person that's casting. Like, are they a bot? Are they not? It'll give you some kind of judgment on how body they are. And it's just like a cool little thing that takes 1 second to install. And now underneath any cast, I can just tap that action and it'll give me this AI assessment on who this person is. I don't know. I'm very fascinated with how Warpcast is moving and the potential for Farcaster at this point.
Anybody else have any follow-ups on SocialFi or Farcaster? We do have Friend Tech going live starting next week. That'll be a nice little air.
SocialFi in general just getting interesting. The Arena V2 is live now. You can kind of loop in, what is it, Fantasy Top or whatever it's called, whatever that. Yeah, that's kind of in the SocialFi ballpark. It's fantasy influencers. It's pretty darn cool. So I'm keeping my eye on all that stuff. Like
that's GambleFi meets SocialFi.
There we go. I like that. That's a good way to put it. And it's like I don't know what product wins in the end. It's so early in that new kind of thing, that new kind of ecosystem. I just like to watch new things happening and people testing and pushing and seeing what direction we're going to keep building in. So it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, that's pretty good for Avalanche, right? Isn't Arena on Avalanche?
Yeah, Arena is the
okay.
Arena.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely good for Avalanche. So they've got some awesome things going on the
Stars
the
Arena is
side.
still a thing.
That's
still a thing. Friend Tech is still a thing.
Don't stop.
What?
Why are you fudding? This thing's gonna be like a multi-billion-dollar market
There are
cap.
just superior platforms out there, Q. That's all we're saying.
All right. Look, we've got a ton to cover. I've got my hands full with just dealing with these four guys on a regular basis. So now we've added into a 6-7 box. We're in a 7 box now. Anybody else wants to join? Just hop on in.
Come on, Marty.
Come on. Let's see what we got. We added Milo to this Brady bunch. What's going on, sir?
How are you guys? I feel a little like underdressed. You guys have like your professional mics, your backgrounds. Feeling a little. I know you guys are looking too good. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
It's very artsy of you, Milo.
Dude, Milo,
I know.
it's like a dojo. It's very nice light. I like it.
Yeah, he's going for that lo-fi minimal design aesthetic. I appreciate
It is a cool spot. It is a cool spot. I got my. I'm in downtown LA. I got one of the few. There aren't that many like lofts in LA, like loft spaces, and I got kind of one of these big, Manhattan style lofts. So
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome. That's dope.
Look, hey,
Yeah.
Gil, I didn't invite you for you to stun on us, man, and make us all look bad, bro.
You guys look good. I had to show, I had to show a little bit, right? I'm like, hey, you guys look good, but I got a little bit of something in the background going on. So
That's how we balance each other out as co-founders. He's in a cool artist loft. I'm in the suburbs. So
you need both. All right, Orlando Newman saying aloha, my
Everything in
brothers.
balance.
OVOT, Maddie Diamond saying yo, what's up? Milo Ellis and Mo.
Matty D.
Swerve is here. Marty McFly is using Fantasy Top, I guess. So he's a power user there potentially. Marty McFly also saying that this Bored Ape Yacht Club pump is insider Yuga League trading. So nice. Are you surprised, Gif? Does that come across surprising?
I'm absolutely shocked that Marty would have any sort of negativity or disparaging words around anything that Bored Ape is doing. I can't believe it.
I mean, Biggie confirmed for us that there's stuff going on inside. He said there's building happening.
It's
and
true.
I saw
Even after signing an NDA.
So yeah, I think I'm on Marty's side here.
All right.
Back.
Let's hit on KozmikBumz here early in the episode. I'd love to give you guys a good probably half an hour that we can maybe dive in and see what you guys have been building in the space prior to this project. Why you chose Solana. Like, we're a very, very multi-chain focused show, and we'd love to get into a little bit of the Solana ecosystem. So we'll do that here in just a moment. Gif, if you want to hit him with the speckle, I've got a Magic Eden announcement right after that, and then we'll be off in KozmikBumz. Oh, that pause. But yeah, we'll be off. Here we go. Gif, go ahead.
We're getting off into all kinds of bums on this show today. Look, we got to do it. You already know what's coming if you're not new here. It's the old handy dandy. That's right, ladies and degenerates. It's important. It's key that we remind everybody at every opportunity that we can that nothing we do on the Web3 network on any of these shows should ever be misconstrued as financial advice. We're not financial advisors. I know it's a shocker, but we're not. And so just remember, your bags are your bags. It's your responsibility. All the dumb, stupid, degenerate decisions that you're going to make with your money is completely on you. Do not look at us. That's on you, fam. All right. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Yada, yada.
All right. We have to hit this early in the show. This just broke 20 minutes ago. Let me make sure I'm getting on the right box here. Oh, no. Don't do it to me. Really? All right, Magic Eden is officially based. Collect diamonds, rewards, and enjoy a 0.5% fee for a limited time on the new base NFT marketplace. You can see base got a chromed out grill there. Some base chains, I guess, is where they're going for. So it looks like we finally have it. We've got base NFTs, no say NFTs on Magic Eden. We need it more than ever. Biggie Poppins. But yeah, they decided, hey, we're going to add base in here. I'm going to head over to Magic Eden and see what that looks like. Thoughts on this one?
That's great. Yeah, I think if you look at where all the liquidity and activity and buzz is right now, yeah, base would be the place that I'd be pointing at. But since you gave me the fucking layup cue, I do think Magic Eden should take a look at Say, because culture-wise, I think we absolutely demolished them. Sorry,
Biggie.
I'm not sorry.
I won't say anything weird.
Q's actively trying to figure out how to deal with the 7 box.
In real time.
There you go. Look at that. You got primitives. I don't see base fellas, but you got base punks. This is great. We're base, not maxis, but we're big fans of everything on base. So this makes sense. I'm a fan. And also, I mean, let's just go ahead and sort of address the giant elephant gorilla in the room. Like Magic Eden is fucking killing it. If you're not bullish on what they're doing, they are everywhere all at once right now. They're all consuming. They're dropping new updates every other day. They just integrated runes, becoming one of the biggest runes marketplaces. Now, a lot of people are probably going to ditch OpenSea to come and trade based NFTs on Magic Eden. I don't know what these diamonds are going to be worth. Maybe they ain't worth shit. I hope they're worth something. But if you don't have a Magic Eden wallet and you're not fucking around on Magic Eden, you're probably sleeping on something.
All right, so the top projects I see here are Based Punks, Based Fellas, Mochimons, Primitives that Gifted just mentioned. NF Toshis are on the list, but really aren't seeing a lot of volume. Is that all-time volume? Yeah, so 314 ETH all-time. Volume for the last day, though, only about 637. Let's try to get up here. Volume for one day, 48,000. Base Punks has a one-day volume of 134,000. They're currently sitting at $1,200 per Base Punk there. Guys, I'll give you guys the floor before we hop out of this one and I try to figure this out. But Huda, any thoughts on the Magic Eden marketplace, or guys, what do you got?
Dude, giga bullish. Because I keep going to OpenSea to look for anything base related. And I've been looking for a way to retire my OpenSea usage. Like, it's a wallet explorer for me for the most part, but given that I'm not really buying ETH NFTs anymore, I'm only going there for base. I'm done with it now. I'm done. I go to Magic Eden now. I'm very, very excited about it. I'm very bullish on what's going on over on base, and especially because it's become a home for artists. That I'm very excited about. Just everything going on in the world of base. Just so excited for it. Yeah, kudos Magic Eden. Killing it.
Yeah, Inverse is saying, does Base even have any NFT volume? Every time I check OpenSea, it's kind of meh. So again, using the chart here, looks like Base Punks has 134,000, but really the next closest is about 16. And then that's only one collection. Then it falls down to 3,000. You compare that to something like, let's go with Solana. You have a lot more volume on that front. You've got 300,000, 250, 120. In all of that. So it's a fair point to make that Inverse is talking about.
It means it's very early in base, very earlier, because there are some collections over there that are older, that are from some reputable people, some names that I don't think people realize. I mean, keep in mind, Jack Butcher's minting over there too.
Have you heard of Droppers? Yo.
Have you heard of freaking Droppers? Incredible collection, very early generative art on base. That it's going to get its time in the spotlight here in a big way, I think. So
tell them, Huda.
A lot's cooking on base. I'm telling you, for real, there is something special. Like, dude, when my spidey sense starts tingling, I've learned to listen to it. Maybe now others are starting to listen to it too. It's tingling like crazy with base.
All right. Inverse also saying tiny base frogs and maybe primitives on base, in my opinion. So we will continue to be following that NFT. This could be a really big boost. Yeah. The same way that we wanted Say NFTs to hit Magic Eden and people get exposure to it, this could be a pretty big boom for that. Go ahead, Biggie.
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting discussion to see how these like L2s perform right in the NFT space. We've talked about it a little bit before. I'm curious if any of you guys have any thoughts, but like, you know, you see these PFP communities and culture be birthed traditionally in the main protocol chain, right? In this case, you could say that's ETH, and then everything else is L2, right? I don't know. Like I've yet to see. Again, I do agree with you, Inverse. There, like there's like primitives and base punks, though as attractive and beautiful as they are a derivative, right? And so, I'm still waiting to see that champion, that first PFP community be birthed there. I think I've seen more glimpses of it on Blast, and even there, I think it's a little bit questionable, like yet to be determined. Will we ever see it? I don't know. I'm with Huda there, where I do get a tingly sensation when it comes to base, specifically for art. Like artists are moving over there and doing stuff, and so we'll see.
All right,
I do agree we're early, and you're not going to see it stop anytime soon.
I'm taking a page out of Gifted's book here and saying that BOEM MFers have the art to absolutely take us to Valhalla. Like look at this garbage that's actually made to be garbage, and it's so bad it's good.
Yes, it looks like an ordinal project.
This is
All right.
amazing.
So I'm
want
placing
one.
I'm placing bets right now on this horse here.
Do you know what's weird though? I gotta say this. Like I always look for different indicators, like not your usual indicators. Okay, when there's some collections that specific artists, and they're usually big name artists, buy into, I never see them succeed. It's just this weird, like, I don't know if it's a coincidence or I don't know if they're picking things that just don't resonate with other people. It resonates with weirdos like them, like artists, like, right? They're a different breed. This one in particular, X-Copy loves it, right? He's bought a whole bunch of them. He's into it. I have seen many, many collections that X-Copy buys into, and they just don't do what we would think it would do, right? I've seen that with Zancan. He apes into certain collections. I'm like, God, that's gorgeous. Wow, that is an incredible like collection. Doesn't resonate with the rest of the community here. So just something I notice sometimes.
Do you notice? Do you think like is it they buy into these collections and do they like announce it, or it's other wallet sleuths that pick up on it and announce it? Because I think like it's very important. Like it's one thing like if they buy it and they don't tweet about it, they just buy it because they love it, and then somebody else picks up on it. And when they actually buy it and make it a point to like let social media know, which is it's a very kind gesture. You're trying to support this new project or thing that you believe in, but then one as a collector, you're like, don't tell me what to like, don't tell me what to put my money into, and it's a weird relationship there that you have all of a sudden, right? It's strange.
It's very specifically that scenario where it is the artist tweeting about them, and it's them supporting usually a smaller artist. And so I love that. I respect the hell out of it. But it is like, you know, talking about the other side, the collectability side, or maybe more the financial side. I usually don't see those playing out well. It's just what I've observed.
Fair points all around from my co-host up here. All right, we're going to jump in here to KozmikBumz. We've got a trailer. We're going to play the trailer. Just like
Trailer Max.
Trailer Maxes. Let's do it.
Trailer Maxes. Let's play the trailer. See you on the other side. I'm going to play some of this here in the background. First of all, amazing art. I feel like Restream can't even handle the quality that is being shown up here on stream. I'm taking a look, and it's just a Restream.
It's 14K.
There. What's that?
It's 14K.
There you go. Yeah, it's just too much quality. But we do have the KozmikBumz team. We're at we have LSD and Milo up here, as well as DP, our very own. To come up here and talk about this project. We always want to do our best to highlight people that are doing dope shit in the industry. So let's do that right now. DP, you line it up, sir. It's your mic. You take over.
Yes, sir. So KozmikBumz is a project that I've been a part of for probably like almost a year and some change now. It's been a minute, man. Time has been flying. But these two great gentlemen, Milo and Ellis, aka Gil and Jason, they brought me on. to help with the lore and some of the Web3 direction. And, you know, I've been having a blast ever since. Gil is a talented animator and artist, and this has been his baby and his vision from the start. And Jason has added that 1-2 punch, and, you know, Turner and KozmikBumz is what they created. Now, you know, I just want to turn the floor over, and without saying too much, you know, I'll let the guys get into the backgrounds themselves. Yeah, I'm going to present the project and entertain with you all.
Cool. Well, I mean, I'll jump in. So I'm LSD, aka Jason Zemansky, co-founder with Milo/Gil. And maybe I'll just give like a little high level about Frame It, and Gil can jump into kind of more of the project and the world. So we're both creatives. We've been in the startup world and the media world in LA for like the last 20 years. We built a lot of media brands over the years. So that's really what, you know, Cosmic World and KozmikBumz are. I mean, we are building IP, and our goal is to become, you know, a media company. So we are, you know, we have a lot of experience doing that, and that's what we're looking to build. We want our IP to be everywhere. And so, you know, that's kind of our approach from a business standpoint. And I think Milo can maybe talk a little bit more about, you know, what KozmikBumz is itself in the world, and where we're going to take it as a media business.
Yeah, so I don't know where to start because I have so many things that I think about KozmikBumz, but essentially, like, you saw the trailer, you know.
Wait a minute, hold on, time out.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Gil, but first of all, start with your background and who you are. Like, you being made, so Gil's gonna be modest.
Yeah.
Push him and not be modest. So let it working on for the past.
All right.
So.
All right. Thank you, DP. I appreciate you steering me back into the light. So yeah, you know, my name's Gil. I've been involved in media, TV, branding, advertising for, you know, 20 plus years now. It's crazy to say that I've been working and had a career that's been this long. Started my career on the show South Park. As you guys probably have heard, I worked on that show. I worked on the film first, and then after the film, I moved over to work on the TV show, and I did about 115 episodes as technical director and key technical director, which essentially is animation, layout, character building in Maya. You know, I would usually touch anywhere from 30 to 50% of the show would go through my desk at any given episode. And I did that for about, I did the movie for a year, and I did the TV show for 8 years. And then after that,
quick lightning question. What are your top three, or like, if you have a favorite episode, I'd love to go back and watch it.
The Tally if anybody asks me the Tally episode, the Okama Game Sphere, it's called the Okama Game Sphere episode. It's so brilliant. Good. I mean, yeah, it's so good. It's basically like the kids want this Okama Game Sphere because they want to play a video game, and it gets stolen, and then they go looking for it, and they have this huge adventure, and like the whole time they're like, this fucking sucks. Blah, blah, blah. We just want our Okama Game Sphere. And essentially they're living that same adventure that they would have played on the Okama Game Sphere in life, but it's totally going over their heads because all they want is the Game Sphere. And then you have the Tally character that comes in, and it's such a great, it's just such a great little like encapsulation of kids and the world, and, you know, has great characters. It's just a great episode.
That's the melody to Funky Town.
Exactly.
That's why we have Gifted. All right. Sorry for throwing you off the rail there.
You're the stupidest character. You're the stupidest character ever. I know. Like, it's so, yeah, exactly. It's super self-reflexive, and I just absolutely love that episode. And we also did some cool stuff on that episode that, you know, I specifically did that I remember actually, you know, obviously I can't take credit for the whole show, or, you know, even a small part of the show. The show's the show, and I was a small part of a big team. But there was some stuff in there that I was able to do that kind of expanded the South Park universe a little bit in terms of visually. We did shadow, like we started to do shading, and the original episodes like were very, very flat. Everything was cut out as like a cardboard sort of piece. And throughout the first few years that I was working there, we started to add special effects and shadows and integrating like the more digital stuff that later became a part of the sort of South Park language. And because I was there during that time, I got to experiment and do a lot of that stuff and push some of the sort of visuals in the show. So I thought for me that was a special time to get to do that stuff.
Now, I appreciate you giving that context there. I didn't mean to derail us too far. Let's jump into the universe you're creating here with KozmikBumz and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, so KozmikBumz is kind of my South Park. I always kind of caveat that with, a success like South Park is a very lucky, timely success. There's no like repeating that. And over the years, because I worked on South Park, I've had a lot of people come to me with like, this is going to be the next South Park. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like South Park it comes of the perfect sort of spark, lighting the perfect fire during the right conditions. And so I don't necessarily expect to do that, but there are a lot of elements that I've learned from my work on South Park and the work that I've done in branding subsequently that is sort of creating what this universe is going to be. Essentially, it's psychedelic. So as DP and the rest of the team knows, like I'm a big fan of psychedelics, psychedelic art, the humor like South Park. And so essentially this is like this cute world with a touch of evil, with a touch of psychedelics. And it's just everything that I'm into and love, from skating culture to psychedelic culture, rolled up to collectibles, like rolled up into this single like entity that we're still figuring out we're still creating it as we go along. And, thanks to Jason, who joined me on the project, and DP and Charlie and Loco and the rest of the team. Like, it's a collaborative project. It's a project where I sort of came with an initial idea, but what it's expanded to is all thanks to the sort of collaborative efforts of the team, where we're doing animated shorts. We have the collectible trading cards, the NFTs. We're now creating a huge line of vintage t-shirt designs. We've played around with some role-playing games as well. So the idea is build a world and then let everybody come in and play in that world and, put their 2 cents, their ideas, and let's see what stories we can tell with it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just to add to that, like, that's one of the reasons that we built in Web3 first is, like we have a lot of experience building in kind of more traditional retail and online channels. And we really wanted to build our core audience with the community that we've grown to love in Web3 and bring all of our holders along with us for this ride, where we're going to start seeping out into Web2, and build a universe that's beyond crypto Twitter and really show what's possible when you build a sustainable business. So we're really excited for the community that we built to date and the people that are joining us every day on our Discord and Twitter. So if you haven't, check us out. And but yeah, we're super excited as we approach Mint.
I'll also add just one thing to the Web3 thing is, what I love about Web3, got into this, 3, 4, 5 years ago, however long, is just how kind of fluid things are and how you can develop stuff that is different. Like if you go to Netflix or Comedy Central and you try to pitch a show, it's a super, super heavy bureaucratic process that could take years. I've been there. I had a show in development a few years back with Sony, and it was just sucks the life out of a project. And I think that the opportunity in Web3 is that you could actually build what you want. and you don't have this giant like bureaucratic machine like trying to suck everything out of it. And that's not, I'm not saying that's not a viable way to go, but for me, you know, this is just a much better environment, platform, community in which to build something that, you know, doesn't, we don't have to watch what we say, you know, we don't have to watch what we do. We can create this world that doesn't fit anywhere else traditionally, bring it out to a market, and then find our audience. Yeah. As opposed to like, you know, going like, what's the audience want? You know what I mean? And start giving it to them. It's like, no, we can find our audience here now.
And that's, we'll chime in one last time, guys. Sorry, but that's the cool thing about being an IP project, right? Is that like a lot of projects come in and pigeonhole themselves. They're like, we're a game, we're a show, we're going to build a show, we're going to do this. It's like, well, you know, that's a long, hard process. And if you're going all in on one thing, that's a pretty big risk as a business, right? So we're pretty stoked to be doing what we do best, which is IP, because we have, as artists, as creatives, it gives us, we kind of call it real-time world building, right? Anybody that's a creative knows how creativity and inspiration happens. It happens in moments. And if you go all in on one thing on day one, like you kind of fuck yourself from being able to do anything impulsive, inspired, you know, extemporaneous, like. And so, yeah, we're pretty stoked to be able to like, you know, be building out from that and have kind of, you know, terminal flexibility to go where the community takes us, where the creative takes us, and where the opportunities surface. So,
yeah, I'm a massive South Park fan. I don't know if you could tell, but also, you know, like the lo-fi design and internet culture and clip art. I can't believe you have fucking tally shoes. I need those. Like the way that being developed, I like, it's very much in my sort of wheelhouse. So I just want to say it's really cool to have y'all here, and, you know, to maybe be early, and, you know, definitely want to get into, you know, kind of like the alpha of how do people get involved a little bit more. But I do have a question about how you're balancing the execution risk and sort of the product roadmap aspect of this, because you know, we've seen a lot of very talented, amazing teams come into Web3, and a lot of times they have bold, you know, big, bold roadmaps, which you kind of started, you know, alluding to, and a lot of great intentions, and maybe even the art and the NFTs are fucking amazing. Maybe they actually do release some really cool products, but then, you know, for whatever reason, whether it's like misaligned expectations or the timing that it takes to actually develop, you know, certain big creative goals takes longer than communities want to wait. It's like, it just becomes very messy and hard to manage in certain regards. And so it's again, it's kind of this double-edged sword, right? It's like you can access and tap in directly into communities and raise funds in ways where you don't have to compromise your artistic integrity, like you're saying, but also then it's like you're sort of I don't know, you're more beholden to a community directly than you would be necessarily if you were doing a show through Comedy Central or one of those other routes. So I'm just curious how y'all are thinking through that sort of executional risk and the product aspect of this, because it does feel like this is leaning more towards kind of like the 2001 or the OG NFT model, where there is some kind of roadmap or product, you know, and IP, you know, goals with this.
Yeah,
I would say the roadmap is very loose, and I think that's like what Jason was talking about, is that we're staying very, very flexible in terms of our expectations, in terms of our execution. Like, yeah, we've been working on the execution of the NFT collectible card packs for a while. We're doing something actually really unique with the card packs, and yeah, we talk about it every day. It's a risk we've been building for a long time. But it's one of those things that I also believe that we have a team and a project that is kind of on a mission right now, not only to get this out, but also to see the world. And the collaborative nature of how we've been working, I think, has kept everyone motivated to continue. Everybody gets involved in the world building aspect of it. So there's a benefit beyond, I would just say, I'll talk about the trading card sort of aspect in a sec, but I think there's a benefit to this project beyond the end goal, right? There's a benefit in terms of the creative approach that we're taking, where people get to express themselves creatively, be part of a team, create a community, and work in their strengths, right? Like my strength is not necessarily community building on Discord, but you know, we have Lofo, our team member, who it is that strength, and he loves it, and he is doing that for us, right, for the project and for himself as well. So I think, you know, maybe that's a long answer to your question, but I think there's probably a few pieces in there that go along with that, right?
Yeah.
Well, so Biggie, Huda, I want you guys to jump in here as well and ask any questions to the team. The two that stick out to me, one you mentioned very briefly, is that it's kind of in that trading card collectible feel, right? When you go over to the website, you see what the collection is going to look like. I even got like a hint of Garbage Pail Kids action from looking at these. So two questions: why go that route with the trading card collectibles instead of like a traditional, maybe even like PFP or something like that? And then why Solana?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you. Want to go, Gil, or you want to take it? Let me take it.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, the big part of going this route with the collectible cards and the fact that we have the cards are customizable, right? So we have accessories, and we're gonna obviously, you know, as an IP project, we have our eyes on doing lots of partnerships with bringing in accessories with cool brands that fit our ethos and our community. So for us, at the core of this whole thing is we want to have fun, and for us to have fun with these cards, to have them just be static PFPs, that's not really our vibe. We want them to be interactive. We want people to be able to customize them. We want to be able to keep releasing, you know, new opportunities, new possibilities with our characters and our cards. And, you know, so that's the reason, right? I mean, and obviously if we're going to do that on ETH, on mainnet, like, you're going to go broke if you want to have fun with the cards, customizing them. So for us, it just made sense to switch over to Solana and, you know, give people an opportunity to engage with our cards and our world and our characters as we create more ways to do so. And otherwise, you know, it was just, as you guys know, it was just financially impossible. We would just crush our community from actually being able to engage in what we want if they got to drop 50 to 150 bucks every time they want to do it. So, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer for people that actually want to deliver interactivity.
Well, I'll just say this, that where it stems from, and you guys are right that it's a risk, because, you know, for example, it's definitely a time risk. You know, we developed everything on ETH. It was working. We realized that it actually wasn't going to work for the community, and we switched over to Solana, and that cost us, you know, many months. And, you know, so from a development standpoint, absolutely it's a risk. But I think that we have kind of a brand ethos that is sort of the guiding light of the project. And that is to create something that surprises people, that brings people enjoyment, that does something different with every single thing that we do. That's part of our brand. And I think that we're sticking to it, for better or for worse. Like, absolutely, there's a risk, but also if you want to build a great brand, I think you have to take, you know, the sort of bigger risk of creating something that's unique and different. So, you know, we're living with that every day, you know, that balance, right? Like, and it's frustrating.
Orlando,
people are
so Orlando saying, love the team, passion, and vision. Psycho saying, what will the IP rights be like? And then Biggie and Huda jump in.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the low-hanging fruit here. So a project like the Stoner Cats, how much have you looked at them and like studied what they did, so you know maybe potentially what to not do? And again, when I say low-hanging fruit, it's just simply that it's an animation project that had NFTs. There might not be anything else that's similar between the two, but is that something you've considered?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that, look, we've been building incrementally, and Stoner Cats, like you said, like it's a great example of being all in on one thing, right? So, I mean, that wasn't a pure IP business, right? It was all about a show. And when you I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure. And let's be honest, like when you guys say, like, what's the difference in the past and past projects? Like, one, the world is not as tribal as it used to be, right? Where if you pick a chain, somebody will be like, fuck you. Like, I don't even care what you're doing. So like, we're happy that the conversation has evolved, right, in the community, where it's like, look, there's reasons for this. I go cross chain. I have multiple wallets. I'm not married to one thing anymore. So the timing, I think, is very important for that. Two, yeah, like we're building outwards, from our core community and concentric circles, and we'll go where the opportunity surfaces, right? Like just from a freaking business perspective, like a lot of founders were inexperienced, incompetent, and overpromised, right? So like we're looking for where there's actually demand in the market, where there's product market fit, and that reveals itself, right? And you don't go all in on your business before you understand that there's actually demand for what it is you're all congratulating each other on, right? So, that's kind of the approach we're taking. I think a lot of projects fell victim to that. And that's just purely inexperienced founders, people that, it's like people that maybe overstated their experience. It's like, show me like an engineer that said that they didn't work on a big album. It's like, they were like in the thing and they turned a knob and they're like, yeah, I produced that record. And so, so then a founder comes and be like, we're bringing on this guy that produced, freaking whatever, So, yeah, I think it's just like the dust has settled. I think everybody's a lot more sober right now in terms of what the possibilities are. And, look, like we are believers in this, and you can't just dive into this world now and build unless you really understand it and believe in it, because you're probably gonna get burnt out. You're gonna get smoked out, not in a good way. And so I think that it's kind of apples to oranges now when we look back on those projects and where they went wrong.
Yeah, fair. By the way, great to see you guys on Solana. There's a lot of people hungry to see some real building over there again, because it's been just, taken over by meme coins like I think everybody here has seen. So it's going to be great to see something much more tangible over there. Looking forward to this.
Yeah,
right.
we real quick, we love what you guys were saying about Magic Eden. Like, we're big fans of Magic Eden. Like, I love that, like, Magic Eden feels like it has a pulse. Like it's not like I go to OpenSea and I feel like it's just like some mansion on the hill that's pushing product updates down without consulting with the people. Like I feel like the proletariat when I look at OpenSea, and I feel like, I'm in maybe something that looks like a republic when I look at Magic Eden. So, shout out to them, and like we're excited for what they're doing as well.
I love how they lean into that narrative too, because they've posted when the community's all upset at OpenSea, they're posting like 9-course meals at like the most decadent hotels during NFT NYC. It's like, guys,
they're
all right.
tone deaf.
Yeah, guys, we
Appreciate you guys.
We have like a max of like 10 minutes left here. Let's get off any questions or any details related to it before we have to close out.
Well, I have one quick, this maybe it's an easy one, hopefully. Besides, just minting out the collection, like what does success look like in the short to midterm for y'all? Are there any other KPIs or things that you're hoping is like how passive versus, active are you hoping for people to be, et cetera?
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak for one, like success immediately after Mint looks for us to expand our audience, into Web 2 as well, right? Like using resources, our community, our product line to start distributing the IP into a larger audience that we can build actually a customer base that we can monetize. And that's really, part of the journey, I think, for our holders to come along with us is like, once we mint, that's where things are going to get exciting. That's where we've seen, right? The things that have actually worked in Web 3 are typically licensing and IP plays, right? Obviously, Pudgy being at the top of that list. So, that's what like near-term, midterm success looks for us, is that we have a strong team. We're bringing on actually somebody recently that we haven't announced yet that comes from very big global brands that's going to be helping us with the licensing play. So we feel like we have a really great opportunity to prove that model early on and show people kind of what's possible to transition into like a real Web 2.5 business.
Yeah, I think I'll just add it's about finding our audience in different places, right? So finding our Web3 audience, finding our Web2 audience, finding the people who like the project for the sake of the project, for the story, for the art, for the team, for whatever we're putting out there. We're putting a lot out there. We're experimenting with animated content. So we're not going all in on a show, for example, but we've started to produce little 1-minute animated shorts as a way of expanding the story. So we have our cards now, we have our shorts. We are just in the process of designing a whole line of graphic tees that, there's going to be like 50 of them. So we get to test out what part of our, like, what our world looks like as apparel. What does it look like as trading cards? What does it look like as media, right? And doing all those things and sort of like using the startup sort of minimum viable product sort of mentality and figuring out what actually works and what people actually like. And once we do that, we'll have, the data, we'll have the audience to understand how to move forward. So I think success is just honestly allowing us to continue doing what we're doing. And if we can continue doing what we're doing, we will grow this in the direction that it wants to grow.
All right, specific question from the community, and then we got to wrap up. Psycho saying community-driven projects, how will they benefit from using the art, if at all? And I think he's referencing the licensing piece of this.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm happy to address that. Like, show me one person that got excited about having IP rights that has made any money from it. Like, let's be real. Like, the company and the founders, if they have a clear vision, are the ones that are going to be able to exploit the IP and create revenue and profit for the business and for the community. Like, if anybody has IP rights, it's a nice thing to say. It was a very lofty ideal, I think, early on in the days. Oh my God, like, I own my character. It's like, sure, but what the fuck are you going to do with it? Like, are you going to go raise money and build a business? And obviously there's some breakout examples of people doing things with the IP, launching, like, whatever, the Basie burgers or whatever, but like few and far between, and none of them have become meaningful stories, right? So like, we look at this as like, the best thing that we can do is create a massive audience where there's demand for the IP, and that's how we're going to be able to feed value back to the community. And further, just philosophically, we are particularly interested in giving people opportunity to actually own a piece of the underlying business, where if we get acquired, if we sell out, right, it's no different than Pudgy or Doodles or Basie or whatever. Like, that's great that you own the NFT, but you know what? If that company gets acquired, you don't get shit. So if we're really interested in like feeding back to the community and having them participate, like I'm more interested in finding ways that holders can actually acquire equity in the underlying business, so that if we succeed, you succeed, irrespective of the price of the NFT.
Love that very real, very honest take on IP, and I think you're spot on, and also very spicy about. I can't remember how you exactly worded it, but like kind of the ownership stuff. That is something we've started seeing over the past few months in a few projects out there, and that's
when everybody owns everything, no one owns anything. So like, it feels good to say, but in execution, it just doesn't work as well.
Absolutely right. Yep.
It's a very small percentage of projects that have been able to do that and be successful at it. When I say projects, I mean the derivative or the projects that are launched out of this shared IP. It's very negligible. But
and to your community guy, real quick, I mean, there are examples. I agree with you. It's the exception. It's not the rule. And we're talking about a 0.001% collection that afforded that, and in those 10,000, you're talking about maybe, again, so you're talking about a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent. So look, there are exceptions. So I just want to address that community answer. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying it's uncommon.
To follow up on it, my question there would be, like, many people that are attracted to this type of play, let's call it, right? Like co-collaborative creation, you own the IP, go out there. Like, I realize that many people that go into this initially, like, go in there with a desire to have some sense of self-actualization, right? Whether they're looking to promote their artwork or product or what have you. But sometimes you go into these projects, and even though they like on the front facing, they're saying that, you come in and a lot of this stuff falls in deaf ears, right? Because everybody's vying for attention and trying to push their things. Do you have like some structure or some ideas of how you're going to handle that? Like all that input or all that like creative energy that might come into your Discord, right? Like, because I think it's very easy to get lost in the shuffle. And then I think what I see happen many times is the community loses.
Biggie,
right?
DP's got to run. Hold on.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to say, can you all hear me?
Yep.
Just wanted to say, I appreciate you all for allowing the team to come on. Jason and Gil, you all are fucking killing it. This has been one of the better interviews that we've had, right? I know I didn't say much because I wanted to give the fellas a chance to shine and for you all to get a feel for what it is that we're delivering. But as you can see why I've chosen to be a part of the team and why Well, first of all, they chose to bring me on. That's first, so I'm grateful for that. And I chose them in turn. And
that makes you the chosen one.
There we go. Boom. Give me the knife. But yeah, but I appreciate you all and thank you again. And Jason and Gil, you all are in good hands with the fellas, and I appreciate you as well. And much love to the community. I'll see you all later on. I'll be on vacation next week, but I'll be back next Thursday. So much love.
All right, talk to you later, DP.
Later, man.
Yeah, I want to respond, Biggie, to your question about the collaboration thing. I mean, I think that I'm saying this as an artist right now, not taking the business, the founder hat off and just saying this as an artist. Like, as an artist, and I saw this on South Park, and I'm going to bring South Park back into this. If you're building a brand, you're building a project, you as the creator and the founder, you need to guide that project. Like, nobody's going to come in, it's very hard for people to come in and give you ideas that understand everything that you understand about the world that you've spent a lifetime creating. Like, I've spent a lifetime creating KozmikBumz, not a year, not 2 years, or however long we've actually been working on this project. I've spent my life honing my skills, working in this job and that job and drawing, and you know what I mean, a lot of solitary hours, like getting to where this has a chance to be successful, or at least, bring people on to like it. And you're not going to just let a community, people are not just going to come in and contribute stuff that necessarily works. So as a founder, you have to understand what ideas are going to work and propel your brand forward, move it forward creatively, and what won't. So it's never going to be, so there is always going to be some kind of hierarchical structure. There has to be. And I saw this on South Park firsthand, where Trey, he ruled with like an iron fist, and I will never be that. I'm not Trey. I'm a lot more collaborative than he is. It took a lot to pry any kind of like ideas from him and put it in other people's hands. I'm not like that, but you have to appreciate how he did that and how he managed to keep South Park going for 25 years as a successful show, by making sure that the vision was kept alive in the right way and not sort of deviating from his own ethos and his own ideas of what it should be. So in any project, like, it's never, even if you can call it collaborative, South Park is a collaborative project. There's 100 people working on that show right now across video games and all of the stuff that they're doing, if not more. It is a collaborative project, but there needs to be somebody who's sort of pushing the vision forward and making sure that it stays what it needs to be, or I always say what it wants to be. So yeah, so that's a balance that you always play with.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that very much. I do believe that, I've been in a whole bunch of DAOs where everybody tries to be ultra democratic and nothing gets done, right? I believe in strong leadership and a vision. And I think the people that bring forth these projects, like you guys being the founders, like you said, been honing it and creating it for such a long time. It's your baby and you need to protect it and make sure that it's going in that right direction, right? I guess like what I was trying to get, like I also come from when I used to live in LA. I was in the movie industry. I did all kinds of roles. Amongst them, I was in a couple of writer rooms, and you get to see, right, like I noticed real quickly, like that the best writer rooms I was into was where people were inspired to contribute their ideas because they knew they would be acknowledged, and if it was good, they'd be recognized and rewarded for it, right? Whereas I was in other writer rooms where people just held back because they knew that they'd never get credit. Like we see these many great screenplays, right, that are usually lauded for being like magnus opuses, and there's like 2 people that get credit when you know that in the back room there were like 10, right? And they don't get shit. They don't get credit. They don't get nothing. And I notice a similar situation sometimes with these projects on Web3, where it's like, hey, come, give us your ideas, bring the best. And then you go there and it's like, damn, either like you said, either it falls on deaf ears because there's too many people and there's not like a structure and like how to like bring forth an idea, have maybe people like give notes and eventually vote it up the ladder and say, hey, yeah, we're going to run with this. And these are the people that contributed to it. And then there's others where like, yeah, I think like the leadership maybe like doesn't foment that trust. And that's why I was bringing it up, because I think it's like a really like nuanced thing that is very impactful in these types of projects.
It's another great example, I think, of how important doing this stuff in real time is, right? Because if we come out on day one and say, this is our collaborative structure, like there's like, then we're just people are gonna say we're rugging them, because we're gonna have to change that later as the community changes and things evolve. And some people aren't gonna like that transition. They'll be like, oh, you guys fuck me. And it's like, no, we didn't. Like, so what we know is like there's people that have been early, right, that have gotten like, for example, custom drawn bombs from Gil, right, and that have been interactive, have made introductions for us to other collectible companies, and that's very real, right? If you want to be collaborative with us, there's an opportunity. Join our Discord, follow us on Twitter, like message us. We respond to that, and as our community continues to grow, right? I mean, we've added like, I don't know, a couple thousand people to the Discord over the last month or so, like. Look, you can get to us, and I think to your point, Biggie, like as we grow, we'll figure out, okay, we're at a certain point, we need a new structure to like to support this, and you know, look, there's also tons of ways. Like, look, there's huge ideas out there. There's fan fiction. There's so many ways to like do whatever you want to do with these things that create your own little piece of the world. It doesn't have to be like in bylaws.
We've seen very many examples of what we're getting at as decentralized autonomous organizations, those DAOs.
Yeah, totally.
And we've seen how different ones operate. And I think 99.9% of DAOs that operate decentralized from day one or try to do so, they're either a rug like up front, like they're selling you governance tokens because you want to be part of this governance process, whole thing. Like that's all fugazi. Or it just gets, like Biggie Poppins was talking about, too convoluted right up front. We've seen that with ApeCoin DAO, which could honestly be thrown in the first basket too, because they said right off the bat we're going to be decentralized. Like, no, that's not how things work. Things need to operate from a very centralized location, then work itself out. We've seen that play itself out many times in crypto up to this point. So, all right, guys, we have to wrap up the convo. Any like leave them to like 20-30 seconds here, but like any last thoughts here from my co-host or our esteemed
man.
guest?
Honestly, like the art is awesome, and this is right up my alley. I love cannabis. I love psychedelics. I love the humor. I just showed you. I'm a big fan of this character. After this hat, these shoes are the best conversation starter you could ever have. Like, just walk out and you'll be like, hey, what's up? So man, I'm stoked. You will see me in the Discord and you will see me chime in. I am very much about this. So thank you.
Yeah, this project definitely seems like a great fit for our community. So please come back, you know, when it makes sense, when there's big announcements or closer or after launch, and let's find ways that we can support and synergize and all that stuff, because it seems like a really awesome project.
Well, thank you guys for having us on. Thank you guys for what you do, and we're always available. Like DP, we're working on this literally every day, all day, weekend. So we're always like open to conversations and reconnecting. And so hit us up offline too, whatever you guys want. We are around. So appreciate you guys for having us on.
I gotta ask then, is this your most personal project you've ever worked on? Like the most you?
This is absolutely the most. Oh, sorry, you got cut off.
No, that was it. Just the most you've put into something.
Absolutely, which is why I absolutely love this project. It's like it's literally my entire life, like put into a bunch of silly art, and I plan on working this. It's such a strong expression of me that regardless of anything that happens, I will be working on this project till I die. So hopefully that's later than sooner. But it's very much a really strong expression of everything that I'm about. So I will be continuing to do this for a while.
Beautiful to hear. Yeah, thank you.
All right, any last words, Ellis?
Thanks for asking us.
Oh no, man, check us out, KozmikBumz.com, and I love Psycho, man. Join us in Discord. Love your
passion. Yeah, Psycho's amazing.
Yeah. So
All
no,
right,
thanks
guys.
so much,
All right,
guys.
guys.
Appreciate you.
Dude, and feel free to
Thanks.
say if you guys got to run, take off. That's cool too. We're gonna be
We're
talking
gonna
about some
continue.
crypto things. Okay,
We're gonna
cool, dude.
get off the stage and continue watching. See you guys.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Appreciate y'all.
They're just scared. They're just scared of that beard, Huda.
Is that what did it? Damn. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I think this is, first of all, like, again, I've talked about the nuance between like good quality lo-fi art, and they're kind of pushing that to a really far super high quality extreme where it's like, you've got like South Park animators, but they're still like leaning into that lo-fi aesthetic and shit like that. So this is like lo-fi, but it's not, you know what I mean? But the aesthetic is still
Care Bear, Fruit Loop look.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome. Yeah.
Retro vintage video game 8-bit all mixed in with clip art and early internet culture into these fucking memeable new characters. It's very cool stylistically, and it brings together a bunch of shit that we all love. So I love that. What's really interesting to me though about this is it's going to be how does a project at this point in the sort of where we're at with NFTs, with Web3, launching on Solana, that's more of a substantive like Web 2.5 like IP business, as opposed to what most other projects that have been launching successfully have been just like hardcore degen plays. Like how do we go after tokens? How do we go after runes? How do we just or just like art, right? Like I don't feel like we've seen a lot of these types of projects. I don't know, like having massive launches recently where they're like, we kind of have a much bigger vision for a legitimate business, or we're trying to do the IP thing. We haven't seen that in a while. And if anybody can do it, I think it's these guys. It's going to be interesting to see.
It did feel like a throwback episode of NFT Live, right? Like where we were highlighting a project that was actually building some cool IP and had the team on. Like, it felt like a throwback for sure. All right, I'm going to speed run through this stuff. We've got a bunch of other things happening across the ecosystem, but we really only have like 5 to max 10 minutes left.
Swerve says this ain't going to be cock punch. Please, no. I can't survive another one, bro. I can't.
All right.
I can't
take another punch in the cock.
All right, here. Thank you for that, Biggie Pop. What is going on with this screen today? Why are we having such issues with figuring out how this is displayed?
Elon is following you.
Is this it?
Messing up the matrix for everybody.
Is that it? Okay. Real quick, this is what I'm looking at. Wormhole is the top performer here, and Safe. So Wormhole, Bonk, and Say. So Say has had a very interesting last 24 hours, but the token is doing extremely well. Another top day for the Say token, sitting at over 64 cents right now. Huda, were you the one that was talking about the Wormhole token? Was there something going on with Wormhole today?
No, it wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you? Okay. Somebody was bringing that up. Maybe it was in our Discord. Also, Bonk up 100% on the week. So Pepe up 57%. So yeah, 2 tokens doing pretty well. We have some other breaking news here, which is coming from Consensus
again.
Well, I think this is a good thing, Biggie. So the SEC is sued over Ethereum. Crypto firm asked court to state token is not a security. So Huda, what do you think?
I have not got a chance to read it. I saw the headline, but yeah, it's Consensus suing them, which is awesome. Fucking fighting back. And this is like, this is like when Coinbase pushes back. This is what needs to happen more and more and more. And then I think what's going to start happening, what's going to start unraveling is what we saw earlier in the week, maybe it was last week, where those 2 SEC lawyers boogied, right? Because what they've been doing and the way they've been going after these crypto companies and projects is very disingenuous, and they're doing it in a way that probably is not right. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that.
Definitely not right, Huda. It's 100% politically motivated. It's not going to accomplish anything but stalled innovation, which is annoying. If I never see that fucking lizard again, it'll be too soon. I'm tired of seeing his fucking face anywhere.
It's a really well put. And you know what? Oftentimes we go there, and that was totally warranted. Like
deserved.
That is incredibly deserved. The next time I see that guy will not be fucking long enough. So
yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm very excited to see more like organizations push back and take them to court, because SEC's record on this shit is awful. Yeah. They've been losing everything because they're abusing their power. that's why those two lawyers got like they just got sanctioned by a federal judge.
I'm trying to put myself in the behind the scenes rooms, right? Like the people that run this country and therefore run the world for the most part. Like, to me, I go instantly into the conspiracy theory. Like, they had planned this the whole time. They were just like, look, we need you to slow this shit down. We need you to slow this shit. Like, and then they had Fall Guys. They had the whole thing. But their thing from the beginning was just slow it down. And now it's all kind of unraveling, and they're going to have their Fall
have
Guys.
no more.
Marty, can you confirm?
Yeah. No, so what it's come down to me is like the most reductive way that I think about this right now is the war that's happening at like the upper echelons of who controls the future of money, especially within the US and the Western hemisphere, is literally it's like Jamie Dimon representing the big banks, the status quo, the banking infrastructure and their interests, and Larry Fink, who's basically like capitalist money manager, who's basically saying like, we have to get into this. Otherwise, all of our value that we're supposed to be protecting is going to get inflated away because of this fucking old system that's not keeping up. So it's like, I literally see like Jamie Dimon versus Larry Fink right now. That's what's happening. The SEC is just a proxy. Like they're trying to work for the big banks right now, but like they're losing these battles because they're not on the right side of history. And at the end of the day, BlackRock's and the money people actually have more power, I think, because they can say, we're going to fucking move our money out. We're going to go elsewhere, like to Hong Kong.
All right. Let's have this convo tomorrow if we can, because we do have to speed run the last bit of these topics. We saw a absolutely gigantic sale on an alien CryptoPunk, 4,000 ETH, $12.4 million. I know we touched on this briefly at the beginning. I don't know if you guys have any follow up there, or else we'll move on. All right. Well, we'll move on. All right. CyberKong's in the news again. Decentralized allocation. The Prometheans are getting a fat part of this allocation. You're 91%. Promethean snapshot already taken. More details on Ordinal's community distribution tomorrow. Airdrop Monday.
It is already taken, huh?
Well, I don't know. It says Promethean snapshot at block 8. So unless they're like,
I think that's not here yet because they're pumping.
Wow.
I think this is people getting into like last chance to get in.
Huda.
Yes, sir.
My balls are hot.
Oh,
this is I mean, look,
fuck,
I'm excited that there's like a small percent allocation for other collections, because that means maybe honey badgers, maybe pups, maybe I can still get some small allocation out of that. So
yeah,
that's cool.
All right, shout out, as we are doing more and more these days. We got to get hash rhymes back, because we're talking about we're finally talking about CyberKongs again. All right, biggest news of the day, folks. I've been Gifted gave me shit. Like, I'm getting active shit from, I know Marty McFly, I know Gifted, and many other people. It is one of the most hated rallies that you'll ever see in NFTs. If this somehow goes to hold on, it is one of the most hated rallies across the NFT scene. I'm not saying that you do. You are a former holder, so I'm assuming you don't have it. But we're sitting at almost 16 ETH on the Bored Ape side. So they continue the run, 15.7 right now. We have them on the thumbnail as BAYC is back. I am so bit up and scarred and chewed out and all of this stuff that I love seeing it, but I am not going to buy into this, whatever is happening here. I love the sentiment that Garga's brought back to the club. I love all that. We talked about that earlier in the week, but I see this price, fellas, and I'm not sold. Like, I could totally see us being at 10 next week.
Yeah, it's a bull trap, is what you're saying. Look, you
so
love
many nice
it.
ones on the floor, though.
It's a good sign to see it getting, like, if it just was totally dead or it was just consistently bleeding, then I would be much more worried about apes and NFTs in general. This is a very good sign, because again, I think what the way that I put it and that I'm thinking about it is, I think what we're seeing is we're setting what I think is probably a really solid foundation for what will eventually become a bigger than the next NFT bull run. I don't think we're there yet. I think this is, like, to your point, like, it's going to be choppy a little bit, but I think we've kind of bottomed out. I think we're finding that foundation.
I go.
And then I think I think over the next month or two, like 2 to 3 months, we're gonna start to consistently start to see like little sort of legs up, like some choppy, but I think like NFTs are gonna start to build a little bit.
I think Huda has been saying as well to kind of piggyback off that comment. I think I've heard Huda mention that like Bored Apes going up is good for other NFT collections. Like we see several other blue chips in lockstep right now with BAYC's momentum.
Leading indicator.
Pudgy Penguins is at 12.6. They're up 22% in the last week. And you see several other, Azuki doing extremely well, The Gods. So I'm not saying they're tied into BAYC, but you kind of get what I'm talking about.
There's like an energy in the space right now, and it is on Bitcoin and it is on Ethereum. There's everything is so closely tied together. What I think is kind of cool is this consensus thing kind of came out of nowhere, but that's the kind of thing that can rally people and it can fuel it. It can absolutely, that on its own could fuel a run, but it's also cool if you have a comeback story that goes along with it. This is kind of electric and it's good for the space. Those two combined.
Yep.
Agreed.
Man, yeah, we have a birthday trailer, by the way, that we never played. I'm sure that's going to warm Marty's heart. Also, Psycho saying I need them to go up so I can round trip again. If you're watching this show, I guarantee you will not round trip. Listen, if you're watching this, this is NFA, but if we go up to some level above 50, I promise the people up here will not allow you to round trip again. That's NFA again, DYOR. Yeah, I mean, just like point and blank. Next week, let's go on a short and then a long term, guys. I know this is a tough one. It's a 50-50 market. Whatever the jokes we always make. Short term, are apes back? Long term, are they back?
Huh. It works.
Are they? You're either way. Go ahead.
Short term and both, yes.
Both, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so you think we bottomed fully on the short term?
Not necessarily, but they're back, as in like the spirit, like the fundamental, the core of what Bored Apes are is back. That's kind of what I mean by that. Price wise, shit, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm with you where I could see them at 10 in a week or so, anyways. But I think they're fixing their core issue, right? It is the Garga effect here. I like everything they're doing right now. They're back.
Yeah, short term, I'm still cautiously optimistic. Long term, I'm fucking rooting for them and I'm bullish.
Nick.
All that
Gift
launched
that I
3D
didn't get.
files.
I didn't get your answer there, Giff. You gonna give me a hard and fast answer here?
I will be very surprised if they go back below 10 ETH. I think it dipped below. I'll be very shocked if we see them back below 10 ETH again. So whether or not they chop or they go down from here, might. But I think the bottom. I think the bottom is in. I think we.
Here's the biggest indicator that I've seen across my timeline that I need an answer to before I make that call. Although I think I don't know if we go back below 10. I could see us getting around there. I don't know if we do that, but. Well, the people were always saying there's so much in the hand of farmers. There's so much in the hands of farmers. Like, I need to see that data piece there, because did that like instantly change overnight and now we're going up? Because that was the huge, I guess, headwind for a long time, was like there are so many BAYCs and MAYCs in the hands of farmers via this blur situation that played out over the last 2 years.
It was something like 20% of the supplier, or was what like 95% of all the volume was. But maybe that's been eaten up.
All right, here's a Swerve 50 ETH is a papery little fuddy hand, sir. Here's a better question for both of you, for all of you, and then we'll end the show here. Choin is saying, if apes were to get near punks again, would you flip it into a punk?
Come on.
Sounds like a yes from Huda, Biggie, and Giff.
Well, that question is for you, because you actually got one.
So in the past, I might not have, because I thought that the utility of having Bored Apes was going to generate additional value. But at this point, I probably would. I'm leaning towards yes. But I also, if I had an ape that I really liked and I fucked with, I would have to find a crypto punk that I really fucked. Like, I wouldn't just want to get a floor punk that I didn't really like. Like, I'd kind of feel like, like, even though it is a punk, I'd still want to get one that I like. So if I could find a punk that I liked at a similar price point, that I probably would at this point.
All right. Psycho saying you can't claim tax loss if you never sell. Saying to gods to zero. Choin is saying Marty McFly. That I guess Marty's saying he did that. He actually flipped an ape for a punk, and is still
It's doing all right so far. Hey,
yeah.
You know, Marty gets some things right.
Dude,
you know,
the Pepe move. I'm the only one that calls Gifted out for this. Like the Pepe move was fantastic. Back in the summertime, he sold a BAYC at 50 ETH and moved it into Pepe. Pepe is now over that initial price, and BAYC, we know where that's at. So I'm the only one that somehow remembers this, but that was a good flip too.
My thesis was mostly right. My execution of timing could have been a lot better, but selling at 50 when I did was definitely the right move, and Pepe is definitely doing very well now.
All right, yes or no answer here then. Are you flipping the ape to the punk? Yeah, you said yes. Who just said yes? Biggie Poppins.
Ape to a punk? No, dude. No. Oh wait. Ape to a punk. Sorry, I was thinking my dyslexia. No, yeah. Punk, always yes.
Okay.
There you go. We got there.
Punk, always yes. Okay.
Smash the like for Biggie's dyslexia.
That was like Biggie speaks like 4 or 5 different languages. That was the jargon.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait. I said it wrong.
Punk,
like
yes.
the smash. Like the smash for Biggie's dyslexia.
All right, guys, we got to get out of here. Awesome time with the Cosmic Bums. We are going to be here tomorrow to do it all over again. Appreciate my co-host up here. Let's go around the circle. OVOT, smash the like before you leave.
OVOT fam, I love you, and yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Can I go at the end?
Yes. Yes, you have to go at the end because you're gonna do
We're
it.
all gonna do it
Oh, we
together.
didn't touch tips.
We missed a real opportunity, but
we'll be back tomorrow, fam.
there we go. Wow.
All right, hit it,
Dude, you came in with his mouth at the end there. Holy cow. Verbatim.